The Duel of the Fates. This battle between the Jedi and the Sith on Naboo was a pivotal moment in history, the fate of the galaxy in the balance. In the original timeline, Qui-Gon Jinn gets struck down by Darth Maul, leaving Obi-Wan Kenobi to defeat the Sith apprentice and take up the responsibility of training Anakin Skywalker. But what if the roles were reversed? What if Qui-Gon survived and Darth Maul killed Obi-Wan? How would this affect Anakin's fall to the dark side? Would Qui-Gon be able to stop it? Would the Clone Wars still go the same way with Qui-Gon in place of Obi-Wan? Would Count Dooku still fall to the dark side? Would Order 66 still be successful? Would Palpatine's evil plans succeed? What if Qui-Gon Jinn survived and trained Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace? In this reality, everything remains the same leading up to this fight on Naboo. Two Jedi were sent to negotiate with the Trade Federation, and that ends up with them picking up this young slave boy from Tatooine who Qui-Gon believes to be the Chosen One. Palpatine still convinces the Queen of Naboo to begin a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum, leading to Palpatine taking that role.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
The Sith still reveal themselves for the first time in 1,000 years. However, this Duel of the Fates goes a little differently. Instead of Obi-Wan being kicked by Maul and trapped far behind the other two, in this version, Qui-Gon is the one who is left behind, and Obi-Wan continues to fight the Sith Lord. The ray shields close, and Qui-Gon watches as the crazed Zabrak kills his apprentice. With Obi-Wan dead, Qui-Gon Jinn faces this Sith apprentice alone. Fueled by sorrow and determination, he channels the Force, using his attachment to his friend to defeat Darth Maul, even though that is not the Jedi way. He saves Naboo from the Trade Federation's clutches, and the fate of the galaxy is changed forever, as he will be the one who trains Anakin Skywalker, not Obi-Wan.
You were my brother, Anakin! I loved you!
The father figure that Anakin never knew he needed. Back on Coruscant, the death of Obi-Wan shakes the Jedi Order, and Qui-Gon, despite his victory, carries the weight of his fallen apprentice. But his determination to train Anakin Skywalker remains unshaken. But the Council is still concerned with Anakin's future.
The boy is too dangerous. We sense much fear in him.
I must train him. Is he not the Chosen One? He will bring balance to the Force.
Against the wishes of the Jedi Council, but with the support of Master Yoda, Qui-Gon takes Anakin as his apprentice. But unlike Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon's views of the Jedi Order are unconventional. He sees the flaws within the Jedi, believing that they have lost their way and become too entangled with politics. This is why he is not on the Council, and why he believes it's so important for Anakin to be trained by him and no one else. Because if Anakin truly is the Chosen One and is going to save the Jedi Order, then he must bring back the Jedi way, as Qui-Gon believes the Jedi Council has lost it. A few years later, Qui-Gon and Anakin are walking through the Jedi Temple. Anakin is older now, a Padawan learning under Qui-Gon's unique and sometimes defiant teachings. His attachment to his mother is handled a lot better than our original timeline under Obi-Wan, as Qui-Gon learned a thing or two from his master, Dooku, and it just so happens that old master is walking straight towards them.
Master, this is my apprentice, Anakin Skywalker.
Dooku turns and gives Anakin a polite nod. In this timeline, Dooku still leaves the Jedi Order. He left to go save his home world from a war. However, he stays there, just like before, becomes the heir to his family and gets the title of Count. But he left the Jedi Order on good terms, and every now and then he visits the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to talk to the Jedi Council about politics.
It's getting worse, Qui-Gon. I fear something is coming. Sifo Dyas might have been right.
The Council is drowning in politics. I sense it too.
But unknown to Qui-Gon and Anakin, Dooku is not just on Coruscant to visit the Council. He is also at the temple to delete a planet from the Jedi archives. Kamino. He has already fallen to the dark side, seduced by Chancellor Palpatine, a replacement for his last apprentice that Qui-Gon Jinn himself killed. But although seeing his old master should make Qui-Gon happy, he senses a darkness surrounding Dooku.
Is everything all right, Master?
I'm not sure, my friend. Hopefully, all will be revealed very soon.
Dooku leaves as Anakin and Qui-Gon share a glance, knowing something is wrong, not just with the Jedi Council, with the galaxy as a whole. Something dark is coming, and they can sense it. But despite Qui-Gon's survival in this timeline, Count Dooku still falls to the dark side, believing that the Jedi Order is corrupt and influenced too much by politics. He sees the flaws that his former apprentice, Qui-Gon, also recognizes. However, he chooses a darker path to resolve those issues, as Qui-Gon has chose the path of light, and teaching that to his apprentice Anakin. A few years later, we see the events leading up to the Clone Wars in a very similar way. The assassination attempt on the now Senator Padme Amidala leads to Anakin and Qui-Gon tasked with protecting her. Zam Wesell still tries to kill her in her sleep, and this chase happens yet again. But now, instead of Obi-Wan finding the hidden planet of Kamino, it's Qui-Gon. Anakin is still sent to protect Padme Amidala back on her home world of Naboo. And in this reality, these two still fall in love. However, although Anakin is trained by more of a father figure in this reality, the death of his mother is still a crucial part that his master's not around for. As he is on Naboo, he has the nightmares of his mother dying. He tells Padme and they go to Naboo, where, well, you know what happens.
And not just the men, but the women and the children too.
And this starts him down a dark path. Though under Qui-Gon's guidance, Anakin has become a more patient and thoughtful Jedi. He is less influenced by arrogance and more connected with the living force. Qui-Gon's influence tampers Anakin's anger, but it doesn't completely extinguish the fear of losing the ones he loves. And although Qui-Gon is not around to help his Padawan as his mother dies in his arms, his training over the last 10 years certainly helped. And while Anakin buries his mother, Qui-Gon goes to Kamino, where he finds a clone army waiting for him that was created by the orders of his old master Dooku's friend, Sifo-Dyas. Qui-Gon meditates, remembering back to when his master told him about the visions Sifo-Dyas had of a coming galaxy-wide war that the Jedi Council refused to listen to. And just as his Padawan Obi-Wan did in the original timeline, Qui-Gon tracks Jango Fett to Geonosis, where he is captured by his former master, now the leader of the Separatists, Count Dooku. But in an attempt to destroy his own Sith master, Palpatine, and win the war, Dooku tries to reason with Qui-Gon.
The Jedi serve corrupt politicians. You know this to be true. You have always seen it, just as I have. Together, we can bring true balance to the galaxy.
Balance cannot come from the dark side. You have lost your way, my old master.
No, my friend, it is you who have lost your way. What if I told you that the Republic was now under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith?
Qui-Gon, in disbelief, struggles to believe his former master. But why would he lie?
The dark side of the Force has clouded their vision, my friend. Hundreds of senators are now under the influence of a Sith Lord called Darth Sidious. I will leave you here to think about it, my friend. We may be able to save millions of lives.
Dooku leaves the room but doesn't give Qui-Gon the time to think, as Anakin and Padme show up and don't give him time to consider. Their rescue mission, if you can call it that, ends with all three of them chained to poles inside the Colosseum on Geonosis. However, backup is on the way. The Battle of Geonosis unfolds in a very similar way. The Jedi come out of nowhere, fight against the droids, Mace Windu chops off Jango Fett's head, and just as it seems they're outnumbered and going to lose, the clone army saves the day, surrounding the Jedi just as they did in the original timeline. And amid the chaos, Anakin and Qui-Gon spot Count Dooku fleeing the scene. They chase him down, determined to stop him. Dooku arrives at his ship, but before he is able to leave, Qui-Gon and Anakin catch up.
My old apprentice, you don't understand. The Republic is corrupt. The Jedi are being led like pawns.
I know there are flaws, but we are not pawns. We are guardians of the peace, not manipulators of the truth.
Qui-Gon looks to his apprentice at his side.
We will take him together.
Anakin turns at him, and in this reality, instead of charging at Dooku and losing his arm, he nods. As lightsabers begin to clash, Anakin and Qui-Gon working in perfect sync. The master and apprentice, with over 10 years of training together, overwhelm Count Dooku. Although Dooku is one of the most skilled lightsaber duelists in the galaxy, he is unable to defeat his former apprentice and the Chosen One. Instead, he falls to his knees as Yoda and the clones arrive and put him in restraints. They return to Coruscant with him as a prisoner, a symbolic and strategic victory for the Republic. The Clone Wars has begun, but without the leader of the Separatists, it's a pretty one-sided war. Back on Coruscant that night, Anakin begins to experience visions, nightmares of Padme's death. He sees her dying in childbirth. Anakin has become so much more powerful with the living force due to the teachings of Qui-Gon than he ever did under Obi-Wan that he now experiences these visions far sooner than the original timeline. Troubled and unsure, he goes to his master, Qui-Gon, who listens attentively.
Fear of loss is natural, but it must be understood, not resisted. You have the strength to stop it. There is much more I have to teach you, but you must be patient.
Through Qui-Gon's guidance, Anakin learns to meditate on these feelings instead of letting them control him. His bond with Padme remains, but he finds peace in his connection with the Force, gradually allowing him to let go of his all-consuming fear of loss. While this conversation happens with Master and Apprentice, the Jedi Council interrogates Dooku, as he reveals to them a shocking revelation.
You must believe me. The Sith have infiltrated the Republic. A Sith Lord by the name of Darth Sidious holds power over the Senate.
A Sith Lord in the Senate? That would mean treason at the highest level.
Evidence we must find. Hidden this Sith Lord remains. Find him, we must. Qui-Gon enters the room. He now fully believes his former master. The Jedi Council dispatches Jedi to uncover the truth, searching for proof of Sidious's identity. Dooku warns them that there's only one person in the Senate that has enough power to control both sides of this war, the Chancellor, Palpatine. Anakin and Qui-Gon both have a relationship with Chancellor Palpatine, never once sensing the dark side within him. Could this Sith Lord have been under their nose this entire time? Qui-Gon, Anakin, and the council members go to confront Palpatine in his office, where Palpatine reveals himself as Darth Sidious.
It's treason, then.
As there is no way out of this, attempting to fight off the Jedi. This cinematic battle erupts in the Chancellor's office. Qui-Gon, Yoda, Mace Windu, Anakin all joining forces against Darth Sidious. Palpatine swirling through the air in a flash, moving in such quickness that none of these Jedi have ever seen. Far more powerful than Dooku or Maul ever were. Getting the upper hand on Qui-Gon, he impales him with his red lightsaber. Anakin screams. As Mace and Yoda are knocked to the floor, the Chosen One charges at the Sith Lord, blocking the Force lightning shot in his direction. In one swift motion, he slices the arm that holds the red blade and stabs Palpatine through the heart. The Chosen One has succeeded. Qui-Gon was right. And although Anakin lost his master on this day, his teachings still remain. The darkness inside the Chosen One still remains. The fear of Padme's death is still in there. Though due to his master's training, he is able to deal with it. With Palpatine dead, the Republic begins to heal. The Clone Wars ends far sooner than the original timeline, with Dooku's intel helping dismantle the Separatist threat. The Jedi Order, though scared, learns from this near catastrophe. Qui-Gon had been warning them for years that they had become consumed by politics, and they all had. A Sith Lord that powerful was in charge of the entire Senate, right under their noses. And this leads to reforms within the Order. Anakin, having grown under Qui-Gon's balanced and compassionate guidance, fulfills his potential as the Chosen One, bringing balance to the Force in a way that is both profound and lasting. The galaxy is at peace yet again.